4 Audi A3 4. Today we install a steering wheel spacer on the Audi A3. We pull out the negative terminal of the battery and search for the holes that make possible to unclamp the springs that hold the airbag in place. The bores usually are behind or on the side of the steering wheel. You can use a flat screwdriver and use your tactile sensitivity to look for the clamps inside of the steering wheel. And at some point, with patience, you will find the way to unclamp the airbag. It's not easy to explain, and you better take your time to do it. When you got it, the airbag simply pop out in the corresponding point for like 1 centimeter or less than half an inch, and turn the steering wheel straight and pull out the airbag, which will be still connected to the car with that yellow connector. At this point, you can unlock the central bolt and remove the screw and the steering wheel gently, and store it apart. We now have a comparison between the spacer and the steering wheel. You see that the spacer is a replica of the core of the steering wheel. It replicates all the slots and the spline and those little 2 bores for the pins on the clock spring assembly. You can unbolt the shaft from the pre-assembled spacer because you're going to receive it pre-assembled, and go ahead putting in the harness which you find in the kit in the terminals on the clock spring assembly itself. Just be slow here, take your time because it's very easy to bend a pin. And sorry guys if I couldn't develop yet a harness with a OM matching connector, but aftermarket companies like me can't have available on the market that type of connector, so we have to wait for a while more. After this, you can insert the black part of the spacer in the steering column and make the 2 pins go in the corresponding holes and have the square slot at 12 o'clock. Use the original bolt to tighten the spacer in place and go ahead bolting the steel shaft of the spacer on the aluminium part using the 7 Allen bolts. Okay, the spacer is on now. You can put back the steering wheel in place. Gently insert the steering wheel in the spacer shaft and make the wire gently go across the square slot in the same time. And pay attention that the square slot of the steering wheel must be in line with the flatness of the steering wheel spacer shaft. Then use the bolt which is included in the kit, and it's an original Volkswagen bolt, to secure the steering wheel on the spacer and go very close to the steering wheel to insert the other side of the harness in the yellow connector. You have to work very close to the steering wheel and you have to operate very gently and with patience because it's very easy that you insert the wires in the yellow connector and you accidentally pull out the same wires from the black connector on the clock spring assembly, and you have to redo the procedure almost from the beginning. With a flat screwdriver, I am just pushing very gently the black side of the connectors to be sure that they are in. Then you have to insert back the airbag in place. You have to operate this way. You have to push the wires, which are a bit longer than necessary, in the empty space inside the spacer, and in the same time pre-align the airbag in the steering wheel. When you are pre-aligned and the airbag is there, you simply push it with the same force that you use when you push the horn and you are pissed off with somebody, and then you're done. The procedure is over. You can reconnect the battery and test if all the functionalities are working as before. Go in the car, switch the ignition on, and The airbag light must turn off as usual, and you will see many lights involved in the stability control and the steering functionalities. And this is because the car recognized that you have play with the steering wheel while the battery was off, so you need to recalibrate the steering angle sensor by turning the steering wheel all the way lock to lock from side to another one and back. At that point, check that the stalks return automatically as usual. The horn must work and have the same mobility as before, and check that the steering wheel buttons work as before. It can't be that one or two buttons work and all the other does not, because if you connect the harness properly, they simply all work. Okay, turn off the car and you're done. The sitting position is much improved. I can still actuate the stalks. Enjoy the Spacer. Thank you for watching and bye-bye.